Okay, it's me again on this building of this UFO resonator. As you saw in the video before, I hooked up this antenna. Okay, now the amazing thing is, since I hooked the antenna up, I was getting 23 millivolts before. Now here's what I'm getting now. 120 millivolts. 119. If I can hold her steady. And it holds steady. It holds steady at 118, 119. Now, let me show you these other wires, what's happening to them on their outputs. I want to explain what the electricity is doing in this unit. I have a coil wrapped here with one end is start and one end is ending. And those two ends I have put large resistors on the ends of these wires to hold the power in. Now I'm getting electricity right here on this side of it, and a very, very low amount on this side. So I'm restricting the power in that coil to stay in that coil, which is causing a flux on this magnet wire. And that's what I was showing you, the 118 millivolts that's coming out of that. Primary or secondary. I'm going to call that the primary. Now, when I hooked the antenna up, the power shifted last night. It shifted to this thick wire here. Now this morning when I got up and looked at it, it had moved itself into this coil. So I've almost got half a volt in there of free electricity, and it is holding steady. Now on the center tap, I want to show you what I'm getting here. On the center tap here, well, I can't hold my meter and show you at the same time, but I'm going to explain it. On the other side of this, okay, this is my primary winding, the magnet wire. I got one end out, and then I got the other end out. The 119 is coming from right there at the out. Checking both wires, one side and the other. 119 millivolts. Okay, when this continues running around to the other transformers and capacitors and through this collector coil, I put a hot here from this collector coil to the center tap, which I have a resistor on right here. This with a bunch of capacitors and choke coil. This coming off the center tap now. Mind you, it's coming off of here. I'm getting 0.045 millivolts off this lead. Off this other lead that's coming off the lower section of this, I'm getting another 32 millivolts per se, 32 millivolts. Now there's some small current like 0.06 millivolts in this. If I check it from the other output on here that runs on around to this times 2 voltage well guys, I don't know what the hell it's called. It's called a voltage it jumps it up, so it jumps at 2, 4, then 6. So anything that's going in, it's jumping up times 6 depending on how many capacitors and diodes I have on it. It's little diodes right here. So anyway, that's what you got. You got a flow of power here, 1. You got a flow of power here, 2. You got a flow of power here. So it's just 3, which is what Tesla talked about in a system. And all this system is a whole bunch of capacitors, and a couple diodes, some choke coils. I started here, I worked my way around here, these capacitors, these little bitty transformers, got 2 big old magnets on one each side of the transformer over here. So it just keeps growing and growing. And I did check it one time. I checked it right here, and it shocked the shit out of me. I mean, it shocked the shit out of me. See, I only got one side hooked up, but when I checked that the other day, it was loaded. All the power was in here for some reason, and then I shorted it out on my hand, about knocked me on my ass. But now the power has stored itself in this primary coil. So when I build onto the primary coil on the end of it, more capacitors way over here where it ends up, the current will jump around to different sections, and it also increases in power. So this is part 2. Today I'm going to work on it all day. I'm going to load it up with some more stuff. I found an old computer laying on the road I'm going to tear some parts out of. I've got a whole pack of choke coils and capacitors and different various things I'm going to try on it, and a couple little transformers. Here's my little transformers over there inside that crate. And I'll get back to you on part 3, and hopefully we can get this sucker up high enough to where it starts to build current and run up the multiplier so I can multiply it to a higher current. Or I can get some switching systems on it to turn it into the AC current that we need to run the UFO. Okay, this is downed out in New Mexico in the deserts. I hear the UFO siren going off in the distance. So signing off before
Free movie mail.